Sally Abdelmageed. This is a witness to the shooting. You had CBS News on December 2nd, 6:36, interview her by phone. I've seen her Facebook account. There's a lot of people responding to her. Her testimony, what she had said to CBS News, was that she had seen 3 men dressed in all black military attire with vests and assault rifles. And she said that their skin tone was white, that they were white. And she said that there were 3. And I'm going to post the audio clip of this, so you'll hear her voice at the end of this. But what the fuck? What the fuck? She says, I couldn't see his face. He had a black hat on, and also it was a black hat. I believe her. I believe that, she's telling the truth as she had seen it. And so let's examine the possibilities. There's the big theory that perhaps this was some sort of CIA psych ops in order to get support for the war, to divert people's attention to the Planned Parenthood shooting. Perhaps, the CIA or somebody had did this and then they set the other 2 up as patsies. That's a theory. Now, people are going to reject that. And I'm not a conspiracy theorist, though a conspiracy just means that a group of people made a decision. And groups of people make decisions all the time. They conspire all the time. That's what meetings are. That's what they do in meetings, conspire. So that's one theory. The other theories is, maybe she lied. Maybe she just didn't tell the truth. But why would she lie? What would be her... So Sally Abdelmageed, she is an employee at Inland Medical Center. So she wasn't there for the party, but she's an employee at the medical center where they were having this party. So what would be the reason for her to lie? It doesn't make any sense for her to lie. The only reasonable thing, if the official story is correct and she is wrong, is perhaps the 3 people she didn't see correctly. Maybe one of the persons seemed like they had light white skin, and because she said 3 men. Well, there's a woman, and the woman is small, and she said the men had big build, and they looked military. So perhaps she didn't get a good look at them. Perhaps, she messed up. But it seems like to me this story contradicts the official narrative. And we should look into this. We should see what the fuck is going on. What is going on? Why would Sally Abdelmageed say something, that doesn't... And where is the surveillance footage? You're telling me that big building had no surveillance footage at all of them walking out, walking in? They haven't pointed out anything. The media, it makes me think of the Pentagon. The Pentagon gets hit and there's no surveillance footage. None. No surveillance footage whatsoever of a plane crashing into the building of the Pentagon. No surveillance footage. Here's another report that sort of validates what she said. They said in regards to a 3rd shooter that was left out of the media reports of late, the authorities were looking for it. My brother currently lives in San Bernardino off of the 215 in Waterman up the hill level. I live in San Clemente, California, but still have friends and family in the area. Last night I spoke with a friend who has friends in local law enforcement. The inside source said that there indeed was a 3rd shooter, and the whole situation was active. The media is no longer talking about it because they don't want to alarm the public, but the inside source did warn my friend to avoid crowded areas such as malls. The information that I've read, even in the mainstream reports about Saeed Farouk, the guy, that he was very polite. Every time you walk by him, he said hello, and they said that it was really hard to believe that he would do any of this. He's quiet, he was polite, he kept to himself. I'm not saying that he couldn't have been radical, had radical notions. Maybe they caught wind of him talking, to somebody about something and then just used to say, think about the media in their apartments. What does that prove? That the media went to their apartment and there was stuff in an apartment. That doesn't prove anything. Where are the surveillance footage? Release the surveillance footage. This is bullshit. In 9/11, release the surveillance footage from the Pentagon. This is bullshit. We, the public, are not being told everything. The thing I want to mention about the media is that they're lazy and they're obnoxious. They don't try to get the full story. They don't use any context usually, to believe that leads. They like that gory shit because that's what sells newspapers. Now, I've reported a couple stories. There was a kid got stabbed in Versailles, Kentucky. And I'll tell you how I read it. I read it as the article head wrote it. And so essentially there was printed words, and I believed the words that were printed. And, you know, I copy and pasted. And if you usually use reasonable intelligence. If something doesn't sound right, well, then you kind of say, well, I'm not for sure about that part. But, you know, I'm criticizing myself here, but this is, you know, I'm just a citizen. I'm not working for a corporation. I just want to get the message out, get the truth out. So it's just print. Well, give me the footage. Give me the video. Video doesn't lie. The video does not lie. Anytime I get a new Facebook friend request, I always check to see if it's a real person. I check their about page, their photos, and even though that information is just what is put out there, you know, that could be lied, but a lot of times if there's family photos, if there's conversations, she had posted something on the day that it happened and lots of people had commented, and then she had commented on something at the very end. So if she's telling the truth, then I think that something might happen to her. The media is going to attack her credibility. This is what I would expect. So I think she has to say it again, and I think surveillance footage has to be released. But that's what they'll do. They'll attack her credibility and say she's lying for this reason and that reason, and, you know, she might be Muslim, so they're going to try to point that shit out. And then, you know, maybe say she was not even a real person. She's made up. She's fictional. You know, I don't know. Use your... Okay, so this is weird. Here's Sally Abdelmageed. This is CBS Evening News.
And it was, you know, from an automatic weapon. So, you know, it's very unusual. Why would we hear shots? As we look out the window, a second set of shots.
Well, the attackers entered the building, and we spoke to her by phone.
I heard shots fired, and it was, you know, from an automatic weapon. So, you know, it's very unusual. Why would we hear shots? As we look out the window, a second set of shots goes off, and it's just pop, 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 pop. And we saw a man fall to the floor. Then we just looked, and we saw 3 men dressed in all black military attire with vests on. They're holding assault rifles, and they opened up the door to building 3. And one of them opened up the door to building 3. He starts to shoot all over into the room. That's the room that we typically have conferences in. And we just heard more gunshots go off. I got my phone. I reached for my phone. I called 911. And I just hid under my desk. I didn't see any more. I just heard more gunshots go off as I was talking to the dispatch. We went into my manager's office, locked the door, barricaded it. We heard running and things happening upstairs. About 30 minutes later, someone came to the door, knocked on the door, but we didn't obviously answer. And then another 15 minutes later, someone came and took us into a secure room.
Ms. Abdelmageed, can you describe to me in as much detail as you can, what did the gunman look like?
I couldn't see his face. He had a black hat on, and from my view, all I could see was just a black hat and black long-sleeve shirt, possibly gloves on. He had black cargo pants on, but kind of with the zippers on the sides and the big puffy pockets. He had a huge assault rifle, and he had extra ammo. He was coming ready for something to reload. I don't know. He had like magazines. I couldn't see what else. I just saw 3 dressed exactly the same.
You're certain that you saw 3 men?
Yes. It looks like their skin color was white. They looked like they were athletic build, and they appeared to be tall.
And of course, we've just learned that one of the suspects was actually a woman.